Hi friends, my name is Maria. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I do grocery hauls every Thursday, as well as a motivational video once a week that's some sort of cooking or cleaning activity. In today's video, I'm going to show you 5 super easy weeknight recipes that my family loved. They are extremely easy to make, delicious, and they're actually low carb. Getting right into it, for the first meal, I made a pesto chicken. I actually marinated this prior to putting it in the freezer. I just used a Dollar Tree pesto, poured it all over the chicken, froze it, and then defrosted it. See, there's a little bit of a mess because it started to leak a little bit. You might want to double bag. And then I'll be making a salad. So I just went out to the garden and picked some romaine. And I'll be putting some mozzarella balls. Those are marinated mozzarella balls, cucumbers, and cherry tomatoes. I'll be using the Greek dressing, and Dan will likely be using ranch. He's not much of a vinaigrette guy. I'll be grilling the pesto chicken, and I will get the grill started right now. Chicken, I'm grilling it over medium heat for about 8 minutes on each side. I already sliced my chicken in half. I find that if it's thinner, I can cook it for less time and it gets juicier. Unfortunately, I always have to cut my chicken to make sure it's done. I just can't mess around with undercooked chicken. I know it may take some of the moisture out, but it's just one slice. Overall, this meal was delicious. There's nothing like a nice fresh grilled piece of meat and a garden salad on the side in the summer. Welcome back. For tonight's dinner, we are going to do ground turkey meatballs with spaghetti squash. So I'm just going to be cooking my spaghetti squash in the Instant Pot. And I have my ground turkey, 1 egg, a bunch of spices. We've got garlic, cumin, onion powder, oregano leaves, and it does call for fresh parsley, but I don't have any, so we're going to use that. As well as grated Parmesan is not in the recipe, but I figured it would taste delicious, so that's what I'm going to use. And a little bit of diced onion. And some of this Aldi traditional pasta sauce. These meatballs are low carb, so they do not have any breadcrumbs, which will be a little bit different for us, but I'm going to give it a shot, and I'll let you know how it goes. spaghetti squash in the Instant Pot, I'm just adding 1 cup of water and I'm leaving the grate in the bottom there. And I will be cooking it on manual for 7 minutes. At this point, I'm just adding my dry ingredients. Half a teaspoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and parsley. I actually decided to omit the cumin because I knew I was writing red sauce and it just didn't seem right. I'm just kind of shaking in a bunch of parsley here, and I actually have a little helper on the side, so that's my son shaking in as much as he wants. Same thing with pepper and Parmesan. Just kind of putting some in with a half a teaspoon of salt and mixing it up. For the meatballs, I'm just trying to make them about 1.5 inches in diameter, and again, my little helper is with me. How do they look?
And then you put them on a pan.
Yep. How do they look?
Good.
And how are they going to taste? Great. I do not like wasting, so I'm just going to put a little bit of water into my can here and pour it in. By the time it cooks, it'll cook down. It won't be too watery. This is one of my favorite meals to make because it's so healthy, but it feels so filling. Feels like I'm having like a big Italian dinner, even though I'm having vegetables and no carbs. On top of that, my kids love this meal. I love making something that they enjoy as well. I didn't mention earlier, but they were also a big fan of the pesto chicken. They may have dipped it in ranch dressing, but they still liked it. Okay, so today's dinner is going to be super easy. I got these Mediterranean chicken patties at Aldi. I am going to cook them up and serve them with some romaine lettuce, Caesar salad dressing, and that might be it. Just like a Caesar salad and Mediterranean chicken patties. So we're not going to put them on buns. I might do that for my youngest son. My older son already ate, so let's hook it up. So for these, there's 3 different cooking methods. We've got the barbecue, stovetop electric grill, or oven broiler. I'm gonna opt for the barbecue option. So it looks like we are going to grill them for 6 to 7 minutes on each side on hot grill. So I'm gonna go heat it up. I did remember that I had some radishes, cucumber, and feta in the fridge, so I could spice the salad up just a little. The feta is going to go perfectly with the Mediterranean burgers. Take a minute to thank you so much for being here. I'm hoping that these videos are very motivational for you and your family and you get some good dinner ideas. I do also post grocery hauls on Thursdays, every Thursday, as well as Tuesdays are the motivational videos, so they're usually cooking or cleaning. Do not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss one. I also encourage you to follow me on Instagram because I'm always doing mini hauls on IGTV as well as live unboxings of my Amazon items. So you really don't want to miss that. Come and check me out there. Again, thank you so much, and I really hope that this inspires you. I have to say that these burgers were so much bigger than I thought they would be. They are a good deal. I did end up putting cheese on my son's burger so that he could have it in a bun. He's a cheese fan. But I felt like Dan and I didn't eat it because we already had cheese in our salad. Overall, this was a huge hit and super easy. I mean, I probably took longer than I needed to on the salad, but it was amazing. And my son ate the burger. He loved it. This is a 10. Today's meal is super simple. We're actually just going to take a whole chicken. I have some leftover onion and carrots, and we're going to season it and pop it into the crock pot. I was initially going to do a rotisserie chicken today, but unfortunately, not unfortunately, I mean, I made other plans and I'm gonna go eat lobsters with my mom instead, and my husband will need something when he gets home from work. So I'm just gonna have this ready for him, and it's gonna be a really healthy, hearty meal. So for this recipe, I'm just taking a tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, about a half a teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and this is actually a 1/4 teaspoon of smoked paprika. If you haven't used smoked paprika before, it is definitely worth it. It gives it that smoky flavor without actually having to smoke something. I feel like you could pretty much put any vegetable in this recipe, anything that needs to cook in the crock pot. I could have put fresh green beans or cauliflower. I just used what I had on hand. For the rub, you just pour it over the chicken and rub it in. I probably could have done a better job, but I was rushing, so still tasted delicious. Just gonna put the cover on and put it on low for 6 hours. So awkwardly enough, I left this for my husband, and I was gonna have him take a video of me opening it up once he got home, but he had to work late. So this beauty has been sitting here since this morning. So it's cooked on low for 6 hours and then on warm for, I don't know here, if we left her at 10, for 4 hours. It sat on warm for 4 hours. So I'm hoping it's not dry. And then I also want to show you this ridiculous note that I left him, because I really wanted to make sure that I got my what's for dinner. And, you know, if you know, you know, and landscape people, let's not forget. But I'm going to plate this up and see how it tastes. Also had to share that I really expected this chicken to just like fall apart into a million pieces. And I feel like this is super promising, that I'm picking it up with my fork and it's not peeling apart, which means it's probably kind of juicy in there. So just another note on that. It actually did turn out pretty moist. I think it would have been better had it not sat on warm for 4 hours, but overall I was pleased with the outcome, and I already put this into a container for Dan's lunch the next day. For my last meal, I got started on it a little late, so you guys are showing up late to the show, but I'm going to be making some chicken lettuce wraps with that leftover chicken. So earlier I just cut up a banana pepper that we got from our garden, and now I'm cutting up a jalapeno pepper. I have to say, I'm not an expert on cutting jalapenos. If you have any tips or tricks on how to do it better, please put that in the comments below. I'd love to know a secret way to cut a jalapeno that doesn't look so terrifying. The recipe that I used actually calls for red peppers, but I had jalapenos and banana peppers. I'm sure it would have come out a little bit sweeter had I used red, but the spice I achieved was really good. I'm just using my leftover chicken from the day before to get some shredded chicken. I need about 2 cups. Here I'm just heating up a tablespoon of olive oil. Now I'm just sauteing the peppers and onion over medium heat until they become soft. Once the peppers and onions are softer, I am microplaning 2 cloves of garlic. If you don't use a microplane for cutting garlic, you are missing out. This is one of my favorite kitchen tools. I will be linking one below if you're interested in getting one. They are a lifesaver. They not only work for garlic, they work for ginger and carrots, anything that you wanted to make really small. You can do this with a microplane. Just as I'm talking about ginger, unfortunately I didn't have fresh ginger, so I'm putting about a teaspoon of ginger into the pan, as well as a tablespoon of soy sauce and a 1/4 cup of fish sauce. The recipe I had actually called for oyster sauce. I might use that in the future instead. It's just what I had on hand. And 2 tablespoons of sriracha, as well as a tablespoon of sesame oil. And a teaspoon of cider vinegar, which I used in place of rice vinegar. Just kind of mix it all up there and put it into the lettuce wraps. If you have it on hand, use some sliced green onions and cilantro to top. It was delicious. And that's it. This was the last meal of the week. It is amazing. All of these were so fun to make. Thank you all for joining. This was such a fun time making these meals this week. If you have any ideas or you have any meal ideas of your own, I would love to hear them. I'd be happy to be, trying some different low carb ideas going forward on a What's for Dinner. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.